Purchase and things you can build yourself, and what are the advantages of both. I'm excited to bring this to you guys and see what we got. All right. Thanks for joining us right now, you guys. We are here at the Fence University this week. Matt was awesome enough to come into town this week, and you're here for what, 2 days?
3 days.
3 days. Gonna be all 3 days. So today he was going over some of his eLoop stuff. If you haven't seen this eLoop from AES, it's crazy. I used to think these loops were just for exit. I think I even mentioned this, right?
Yeah.
I go, these are only good for exits, right? For opening devices. You said they're not.
That's what a lot of people think. We just sell exit loops and that's it. Exit eLoops, but it's more than that.
So we're going to show you what he did bring, and he actually hooked one of these things up in the back, and it worked great. I tried to hook one up, and he came over here in a couple seconds, showed us a couple tricks. That thing was in, I think, in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes to put this thing in, as opposed to an hour for cutting the loop.
Yeah, definitely a time saver. We're going to be testing that out in some other videos. We're going to be driving over this thing. He says it'll handle like what, 400 tons?
No, 10 tons.
10 tons. 10 tons.
400 tons will be a tank, dude.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we're going to keep it under 10 tons, but we are going to drive it over this thing. So that'll be in another video. We'll try to see if we can do that while you're still here.
Sounds
so
good.
Tell us about the two. You got two or three different loops.
There's 3 different loops. This is the commercial loop above ground. This is an in-ground commercial loop. And this is a residential loop. All 3 of these loops can be exit or presence and shadow. So you can do a whole installation without ever having to cut the loop again. A lot of people think it's just an exit loop, but it's not. You can do all 3. The new ones, the version 3 loop of this, everything we're selling now is version 3. Everything in version 3 can be normally closed or normally open. That was a big issue in the beginning of this. That's where you really weren't promoting the presence loops. Okay. But now you can use them for all 3 of them.
I noticed it's got an arrow on it. Is that pointing the direction of the cars, or what is that?
The arrow is to point towards the receiver inside the gate operator, because the receiver is going to be inside the gate operator. The arrow is pointing towards the gate operator.
And this is if I was listening correctly, this is a 433 megahertz receiver.
Yes.
50. You can.
It's a transceiver.
Transceiver.
It's not just a receiver. It also sends a signal in the presence mode. It transmits a signal back to the loop.
And that's to stay in constant contact?
Yes.
Is that what? So they're constantly communicating. It's
not just while it's using presence mode, it's constantly contacting the receiver and the loop.
How is that on solar applications?
Our stuff is very, very solar friendly. Only draws 14 microamps.
Wow.
Microamps is small, so it's very, very solar friendly.
I only know milliamps, so that sounds even
smaller than
that. So that's amazing. So it says this is the Trans 50. Does that mean you could hook 50 of these loops up to one, or no?
The Trans 50 is you can hook up 50 remotes to
50 remotes.
The receiver does a couple different things. You can hook up remotes to it. We have an E-Trans 100. You can do 100 remotes. This is an E-Trans 200. The difference between the 100 and 200 is the 100 does not have a display screen. Okay, display screen will just show you modes. It'll show you loop status, everything on the display screen. Obviously costs a little bit more. But this is a 2-channel 12 24 volt DC or AC transceiver. This is a single channel 12 24 volt DC only. You can hook up to 4 of the same kind of loops to this one. So you can hook up 4 exit loops to this one, 4 reversing loops, 4 shadow loops.
So this could replace the need for an actual receiver for your remotes.
Yes. With this transceiver, you can use remotes, up to 50 remotes on the Trans 50, 200 on the E-Trans 200, and 300. We're coming out with an E-Trans 300 transceiver that can hold up to 300 remotes, but it's there for like a swing gate installation where you've got exit, presence, shadow, and presence. That's 4 different loops. You would have to have, right now, you have to have this on your exit loop, and then your other 3 loops on the second channel. So the E-Trans 300, you can do all loops on one transceiver.
So I noticed the 2 channels, 2 relays, or however we want to call it, right? So I do notice that you could have the transmitters open up, because you want to hook those up typically in a different spot. Because if you hook this up as a opening device for an exit loop or something, you would typically tie that into exit, but that's not necessarily going to close the gate if you didn't have the timer on.
Exactly.
So this is where you need the 2 channels, because if you do have the remotes hooked up, the timer on your gate operator is off, then with just this and the loop, and you try to tie it all in, it might just hold the gate open or open it, and it'll never close on its own.
Exactly.
So that second channel, you can do anything you want.
Right. Hook it up wherever you want in any gate operator.
Wow, that's really neat.
With this transceiver, we have a couple other devices. This is called an E-Trigger. This is basically just a relay bridge. You can hook it up to any keypad, any phone system, powers off the keypad, run, and just wirelessly tells the gate to open. You don't have to run wire from your keypad back to the gate operator. Now, I know, being an old installer, that my keypad or my phone system is normally going to be powered up in the gate operator anyways.
Right.
Well, this works great is a subdivision where your phone system or your keypad out on an island in the entrance that's getting powered up there. You still have to run wire from that keypad or phone system back to the gate operator. With this and one of our receivers, you do not have to run wire back there. The wire tells the gate to open.
This has them. You run wires right at the bottom of this.
This powers this mounted on the back of a 2-inch gooseneck. Your wires go up to your keypad or up to your phone system.
Okay.
This is powered off of that, and wirelessly tells the gate to open without having to run wire.
And you just connect that right to your strike or wherever on the entry system or operator, wherever it happens to be.
Wherever you keep that.
Yep.
It doesn't matter because it's wirelessly telling the gate. This you're going to put on your relay. Relay 1 is going to tell this thing to tell the gate to open without having to run wire.
Yeah, and it's 433 megahertz. So how does that affect range? That's typically good, I would assume.
Yeah,
right?
433 is one of the most popular ones. A lot of people are changing to 433 just because on the noise on 300, 312, 315.
Right.
A couple other manufacturers use 433, but we have a e-diagnostic. With this tool, you can go out before your job site and you can test for RF interference. It's going to test for only 433 megahertz, and it'll tell you if there's 433 out there.
Did you test that here?
I did.
How was it?
It was fine.
Okay. Must have been because that worked, right?
Yeah, you don't have a lot of 433 receivers picked up. So hooked up. So it works great. Also with this, there's 6 other things you can do with this. You don't have to buy this to install the loops.
Okay.
You don't. It's a great thing to have for your service truck to go out and monitor loop. You can monitor loop in live time. You can change the loop function of it. You can change the X, Y, and Z axis of the loop, make it smaller if you got 2 loops close to each other, or 2 lanes of traffic where you don't want the biparting gate, you don't want the exiting traffic, but that's the other traffic. Sorry about that. But this is a great tool to have. You only got to buy it once, keep it on your trucks, and if you're going to be installing these loops, which I hope you will, you should get one of those.
How does this compare to a loop? How does it tune out the metal around it? Do you, when you place this thing on the ground, you have to be careful of what you have around. Does auto tune the metal that's in the area around, the metal that's maybe in the concrete below?
Right.
Is there any tricks to that?
There's 2 steps to installing this thing. Actually, 3 steps. I call it 2. First, you program your remote. Hook up your transceiver in the gate operator. Get power to it. Hook it up to your relay. First step, you hit the code button. Pair it. Put this right next to it. The code light's going to blink. It's paired. Second step, you go out there. These 2 things pop off. Bolt it down to the ground. Comes with 2 bolts. Using concrete or asphalt. We highly recommend putting some type of sealant on here. Some type of adhesive for concrete or asphalt. Stick it around the place where you're going to place it. A little magnet in my pocket. Second step, get the magnet, put it in the set. Now it calibrates. Okay. Now make sure in the area, it'll go up to 4.9 feet all the way around.
And I can see that light. It's calibrating right now. So, so it's all battery. This comes fully charged. You don't have to do anything in the battery. How long is that battery going to last?
In the commercial one, and that one and this one, battery life is 6 to 10 years.
So is it nuclear or something? Is that what it is?
No, it's just not. Okay. When it's not being used, it's not drawing back.
It goes idle.
Right.
So it stops. That's really neat.
In the residential one, the battery life is 2 to 3 years. The residential one is just 2 lithium AA batteries.
So you can change those.
You can change those out easy. Your homeowner can change it out. Replace the 4 screws and change it out. I don't know how many homeowners I want working on my stuff, but the commercial ones, they're sealed batteries that plug into the board. So you have to buy those from your distributor.
So what do we do in those applications where there is a lot of interference? Is there a way to run wired units out? Right
now, the receivers come with this small little 6 dBi antenna. We sell a 12 dBi antenna and a 30 dBi antenna. That extends the range. We'll get better range like that because typically this is mounted inside the gate operator. Depending on which gate operator you use, could cut down your range if you're using metal ones or anything. Run the wire up the top, put your antenna up top, and you're not going to have any issues with range.
And tell me about this one. This is your in-ground one?
This is the in-ground.
You don't want something sticking up there you're going to be going over?
This is above ground. This is in-ground, 3.5 inches. You core drill a hole or just drill it with a hammer drill with a 3.5-inch bit. Place it in the ground. It programs the same way. Program it to the receiver. Put your little magnet on top of here. This is a dead unit, so it's not going to blink. Put it on top of there, calibrate the loop, and you're done. 15 minutes to install the loop.
Yeah.
I've done it. We did it here. It took less than 15 minutes to do it. And you're done.
Yeah, I saw it. You got to see it to believe it. There's no doubt. So
our website does a great job. We have our own YouTube channel. Yep. Everything I sell, everything what we're talking about here, there's a little 2-minute video on how to program this and install it. I mean, the video is only 2 minutes. I send it to people. I have a program on my phone. I just text it to people.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying this out tomorrow when you come back. I know you'll be here in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah. So I appreciate again you coming in.
No problem.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.